Hi, good evening, everybody. Everybody that's out there. I think we're a few teams short tonight, but we'll see who's there. If you could let us know in the chat, please. Excuse me. Hello, Dawn. Nice to hear from you, my dear. Thanks to you and Bobby for a great weekend again. You don't get many like them anymore. It's absolutely fabulous. Hello, June. Oh, evening, Stacey. I think Stephen and Jeanette are going to be joining us as well tonight because there's no Pan and there's no Eddie. But Stephen said he's joining, so at least we'll have 4 teams in. Yeah, it's quite a heavy weekend, isn't it, Dawn? My throat's still a bit ropey of all the talking I was doing, so you might have to bear with us tonight. Evening, Stephen, even Jeanette. Woof to cotton. I think that's all we'll be getting tonight, so I'll have a quick run through the subjects. You've got question 1 is on general knowledge. 2 is the 1970s. 3 is pop music. 4 is geography. 5 is blockbusters. 6 is TV. 7 is inventions. 8 is films. 9 is food and drink. And 10, men and women's clothing. That doesn't involve our Davy and the Cousins weekend, by the way. Excuse me. We'll start off with 1 on general knowledge. Question 1. What kind of creature is a guppy? What kind of creature is a guppy? Question 2. Which painting was stolen from the Louvre in 1911 and returned in 1914? Which painting was stolen from the Louvre in 1911 and returned in 1914? Excuse me. Question 3. What is the name of Newcastle's chief art gallery? What's the name of Newcastle's chief art gallery? Excuse me. As I say, me throat's a bit ropey off the weekend, I'm afraid. Question 4. Which 50s football star was known as the Clown Prince of Soccer? Which 1950s football star was known as the Clown Prince of Soccer? And question 5. The Red Crescent is the Islamic country's equivalent of which organization? The Red Crescent, the Islamic country's equivalent of which organization? Question 2 is the 1970s. First part. In 1973, Salvador Allende was overthrown and killed in a military attack on the presidential palace, and Augusto Pinochet took power. In which country? 1973, Salvador Allende was overthrown and killed in a military attack on the presidential palace, and Augusto Pinochet took power. In which country? Question 2. In 1977, two Boeing 747s collided on the runway in heavy fog, killing 583 people. On which holiday island was it? 1977. Two Boeing 747s collided on the runway in heavy fog, killing 583 people. On which holiday island was it? Question 3. Which hit film of 1973 starred Ellen Burstyn and Max von Sydow? Which hit film of 1973 starred Ellen Burstyn and Max von Sydow? Very famous film. Excuse me. Question 4. On the 26th of April 1976, which great comedy actor died on stage at Sunderland Empire Theatre, aged 62? 26th of April 1976, which great comedy actor died on stage at Sunderland Empire Theatre, aged 62? And question 5. Washington Post crime reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein were leading players in which early 70s scandal in the USA? Washington Post crime reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein were leading players in which early 70s scandal in the USA? Number 3. Which hit film of 1973 starred Ellen Burstyn and Max von Sydow? That was question 3. which hit film of 73, starred Ellen Burstyn and Max von Sydow. If anybody else has got any queries, send them through on the chat. If everybody's okay and you get your answers down, just send us a ready and we'll go through the answers. Dawn ready? Stacey ready? June ready? And Stephen ready. Yeah, general knowledge. What kind of creature is a guppy? It's a type of fish. Painting stolen from the Louvre in 1911 and returned in 1914 was the Mona Lisa. Newcastle's chief art gallery is the Lang Gallery, Laing. The 50s football star, known as the Clown Prince of Soccer, was Len Shackleton. And the Red Crescent is the Islamic country's equivalent of the Red Cross. In the 1970s and 73, Salvador Allende was overthrown. Augusto Pinochet took over in Chile. 77, two Boeing 747s collided on the runway in Tenerife. The hit film of 73 that starred Ellen Burstyn and Max von Sydow. That was The Exorcist. And Burstyn was the mother and Max von Sydow was the priest. The great comedy actor who died on stage at Sunderland in April 76 was Sid James. And Washington Post crime reporters Bob Woodward and Carl Bernstein were involved in the Watergate scandal in the early 70s. Watergate. Leave out your scores, send them through. Dawn 8. Stacey 7. June 7. Stephen 7. Good scores, not much in it. Dawn with a 1-point lead there. Everybody else on 7. Question 3, Pop. The 2000s. The following are or were members of which bands that had major hits in the 2000s? Yes, so these are members of which bands that had major hits in the 2000s. Number 1, Gary Barlow, Howard Donald, and Mark Owen. Gary Barlow, Howard Donald, and Mark Owen. Second part, Andrew White, Simon Ricks, and Ricky Wilson. Andrew White, Simon Ricks, and Ricky Wilson. Number 3, will.i.am, Fergie, Applediap, and Taboo. will.i.am, Fergie, Applediap, and Taboo. They're all members of which band had hits in the 2000s? Number 4, Caleb Followill, Nathan Followill, and Jared Followill. 3 brothers. Caleb Followill, Nathan Followill, and Jared Followill. Members of which band? 5, Brandon Flowers, David Koenig, and Mark Stormer. Brandon Flowers, Dave Koenig, and Mark Stormer. Excuse me. Okay, question 4 is geography. South America. South America. You've got multiple choice answers here. If you don't know, you can always have a guess. Number 1, the beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema are in the southeastern part of which country? Brazil, Peru, or Argentina? The beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema are in the southeastern part of which country? Brazil, Peru, or Argentina? Question 2. In the capital city of Bogota, you'll find the Gold Museum. In which country is it? Peru, Bolivia, or Colombia? The capital city of Bogota, you'll find the Gold Museum. In which country is it? Peru, Bolivia, or Colombia? Question 3, slightly trickier. Lake Titicaca is situated between which 2 countries? Bolivia and Peru, Chile and Bolivia, or Colombia and Peru? Lake Titicaca is situated between which 2 countries? Bolivia and Peru, Chile and Bolivia, Colombia and Peru. Question 4. The president's house in this country is pink. Is it in Chile, Brazil, or Argentina? The president's house in this country is pink. Is it in Chile, Brazil, or Argentina? Question 5. What two capital cities are located on the Rio de la Plata? Is it La Paz and Valparaiso, Bogota and Quito, Buenos Aires and Montevideo? What two capital cities are located on the Rio de la Plata? La Paz and Valparaiso, Bogota and Quito, Buenos Aires and Montevideo. Excuse me. Given you've got your answers, send us a ready and we'll go through them. So we've got June ready, Stacey ready, Stephen ready. And Joan ready. Good pop music. The band members: Gary Barlow, Howard Donald, Mark Owen, Take That. Andrew White, Simon Ricks, and Ricky Wilson. Ricky Wilson's lead singer with the Kaiser Chiefs. will.i.am, Fergie, Apple Diap, and Taboo, the Black Eyed Peas. Follower brothers, Caleb, Nathan, Jared, are Kings of Leon. And Brandon Flowers, David Koenig, Mark Stormer. Brandon Flowers was lead singer with The Killers. You Take That, Kaiser Chiefs, Black Eyed Peas, Kings of Leon, The Killers. Geography: the beaches of Copacabana and Ipanema are in Brazil. The Gold Museum in Bogota is in Colombia. Lake Titicaca lies between Bolivia and Peru. The President's House is pink in Argentina. And the two capital cities located on the Rio de la Plata, Buenos Aires and Montevideo. You got your scores, send them through. Dawn 7 is 15. Stephen 7 is 14. Stacey 9, 16. Excellent score, Stacey. Difference between Montenegro and Montevideo. Just go over this round anyway. 10. June on 17. Excellent. We got June on 17, Stacey on 16, Dawn on 15, Stephen on 14. Excuse me. Okay, question 5 is on blockbusters. Just like the TV show, I'll give you a question and I'll give you the initial letters. Just get the right answer. Question 1. France presented this to the USA in 1884. SOL. Sierra Oscar Lima. SOL. Question 2. This 1933 film is regarded as one of Laurel and Hardy's best feature films and is also the name of their fan club. SOTD. Sierra Oscar Tango Delta. SOTD. One of Laurel and Hardy's best feature films and also the name of their fan club. Question 3. His poem, The Raven, was published in 1845. It's EAP. Echo Alpha Papa. EAP. His poem, The Raven, was published in 1845. Question 4. The address of the rover's return. ECS. Echo Charlie Sierra. ECS. The address of the rover's return. And 5. This was Charles Dickens' first novel. PP. Papa Papa. Charles Dickens' first novel. PP. Okay, question 6 is on TV. TV ads. TV adverts. First one. An advert for which bread company featured a steep hill, a young boy on a bike, and Dvorak's Symphony No. 9 from the New World. An advert for which bread company featured a steep hill, a young boy on a bike, and Dvorak's Symphony No. 9 from the New World. Question 2. An advert for which chocolate company featured a gorilla drumming to a Phil Collins song. Advert for which chocolate company featured a gorilla drumming to a Phil Collins song. Question 3. A Christmas advert for which retailer was entitled The Boy and the Piano and starred Elton John. Christmas advert for which retailer was entitled The Boy and the Piano and starred Elton John. Question 4. Who became an overnight star after he took off all his clothes in a laundrette while Marvin Gaye sang in the background in a Levi's TV ad? Who became an overnight star after he took off his clothes in the laundrette while Marvin Gaye sang in the background in a Levi's TV ad? And question 5. What was the name of the author of the book Fly Fishing, which featured in a TV ad for the Yellow Pages? What was the name of the author of the book Fly Fishing, which featured in a TV ad for the Yellow Pages? You get your answers down, senders are ready, and we'll go through them. Oh, excuse me. Stacey ready, Dawn ready, June ready. And Stephen ready, there we go. Okay, question 5 on blockbusters. France presented this to the USA in 1884. That was the Statue of Liberty. 1993 film, regarded as one of Lauren Hardy's best, and also the name of their fan club, SOTD. That's Sons of the Desert. Sons, S-O-N-S, Sons of the Desert. His poem The Raven was first published in 1845. EAP, that was Edgar Allan Poe. Excuse me. The address of the rover's return, ECS, it's a dodgy one, could have been a couple of things, but it's actually 11 Coronation Street. Excuse me. And Charles Dickens' first novel, PP, that was Pickwick Papers. TV, the ad that featured Dvorak's Symphony No. 9 and all that was Hovis. The Gorilla drum to Phil Collins song was from a Cadbury's advert. The Christmas advert entitled The Boy and the Piano starring Elton John was for John Lewis. The guy that became an overnight star in the Levi's TV ad was Nick Kamen. And the author of Fly Fishing, that was by J.R. Hartley in the TV ad for the Yellow Pages. J.R. Hartley. Oh, excuse me. Dawn got 8, that's 23. Stacey 9, 25. Stephen 9, 23. And June 10 again, 27. There's June out the lead on 27. Stacey on 25 and Stephen and Dawn both on 23. Some cracking scores tonight. Excuse me. Okay, question 7 is on inventions. First part. What is the name of the artificial language invented by the Pole Zamenhof? What's the name of the artificial language invented by the Polish guy Zamenhof? Question 2. For what invention is Elisha G. Otis famed? For what invention is Elisha G. Otis famed? Question 3. Which British scientist and surgeon was a pioneer of antiseptic surgery? Which British scientist and surgeon was a pioneer of antiseptic surgery? Question 4. What nationality was Ernst Rubik, the inventor of the Rubik's Cube? What nationality was Ernst Rubik, who invented the Rubik's Cube? And question 5. German Johannes Gutenberg was famous for inventing what sometime between 1440 and 1450? German Johannes Gutenberg was famous for inventing what sometime between 1440 and 1450? Question 8 is on films. These are acting dames. Clues to actresses who've all been awarded British damehoods. 8 clues to actresses who've all been awarded British damehoods. Number 1, starred in The Sound of Music in 1965. Starred in The Sound of Music in 1965. Question 2. Starred in the films The Stud and The Bitch, and on TV as Alexis Colby in Dynasty. Starred in the films The Stud and The Bitch, and on TV as Alexis Colby in Dynasty. Question 3. Made her breakthrough film role in the 1980 film The Long Good Friday. Her most notable TV role was as D.I. Jane Tennant in Prime Suspect. Made a breakthrough film role in the 1980 film The Long Good Friday. The most notable TV role was as D.I. Jane Tennant in Prime Suspect. Question 4. Known in the 60s for her TV role as Emma Peel in The Avengers, who latterly played Olenna Tyrell in Game of Thrones. She died in 2020. Known in the 60s for her TV role as Emma Peel in The Avengers, who latterly played Olenna Tyrell in Game of Thrones. She died in 2020. Question 5. Initially best known as a stage actress, she later was one of the stars of the 2001 film Gosford Park. She more recently played Doc Martin's aunt, Ruth Ellingham, in the TV series Doc Martin. Initially best known as a stage actress, she later was one of the stars of the 2001 film Gosford Park. She more recently played Doc Martin's aunt, Ruth Ellingham, in the TV series Doc Martin. When you've got your answers down, senders are ready, and we'll go through them. Dawn's ready. Stacey ready. June ready. Oh, and Stephen ready. Okay, inventions. The artificial language invented by Zamenhof was Esperanto. Elisha G. Otis is famous as the inventor of the lift or elevator. Lots of those with the Otis on the walls. The British scientist and surgeon who was a pioneer of antiseptic surgery was Joseph Lister. Ernst Rubik, inventor of the Rubik cube, was Hungarian. And German Johannes Gutenberg invented the printing press? Sometime between 1440 and 1450. The films The Acting Dames, starred in The Sound of Music, was Julie Andrews. Starred in The Stud and the Bitch, and as Alexis Colby in Dynasty, Dame Joan Collins. D.I. Jane Tennant in Prime Suspect was Dame Helen Mirren. Emma Peel in The Avengers and Elena Tyrrell in Game of Thrones was Diana Rigg. And initially best known as a stage actress, more recently played Doc Martin's Aunt Ruth Ellingham. That was Eileen Atkins, Dame Eileen Atkins. You got your scores, send them through. Dawn 9, cracking round 32. Stacey 7, 32. June 9, 36. And Stephen 8, 31. There's June way out in the lead now on 36. So you got company tonight, June. Stephen Fry round your house or something. Okay, question 9 is on food and drink. All 5 parts. As I think we found out last week, if you were doing the quiz last week, Subway is the fast food franchise with the most outlets. What are the next 5 fast food franchises with the most outlets? Subway is the fast food franchise with the most outlets. What are the next 5 in the list? Excuse me, of fast food franchises with most outlets. I never realised, June, but there's no sport tonight, so there you go. You've got time to think about that one at the end. I'll give you the last 5 questions and then you can take as long as you like with your answers, really. Question 10 is on men in women's clothing. First part. Who starred mainly in women's clothing in the 1993 film Mrs. Doubtfire? Who starred mainly in women's clothing in the 1993 film Mrs. Doubtfire? Question 2. In which 1959 film, excuse me, did Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis disguise themselves as women named Josephine and Daphne to become members of an all-female traveling jazz band? In which 1959 film did Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis disguise themselves as women named Josephine and Daphne to become members of an all-female traveling jazz band? Question 3. What was the name of Paul O'Grady's one-time alter ego drag queen? What was the name of Paul O'Grady's one-time alter ego drag queen? Excuse me. Question 4. What was the name of the Irish secret society founded in 1843 whose members disguised themselves in women's clothing? What was the name of the Irish secret society founded in 1843 whose members disguised themselves in women's clothing? And question 5. Which UK comedian in 2016 ran 27 marathons in 27 days in South Africa in honour of Nelson Mandela, raising £1.35 million, and is famous for wearing women's clothes and makeup and a lot of high heels? Which UK comedian 2016 ran 27 marathons in 27 days in South Africa in honour of Nelson Mandela, raising £1.35 million, and is also famous for wearing women's clothes and makeup? That's your luck for tonight. When you've got your answers down, send us a ready through, and we'll sort the final scores out. Well, Stacey ready, June ready. Dawn ready. And Stephen ready. Okay, number 9 was food and drink. Subway is the fast food franchise with the most outlets. The next 5 are McDonald's, Starbucks, KFC, Burger King, and Pizza Hut. McDonald's, Starbucks, KFC, Burger King, Pizza Hut. Men and women's clothing. The star of Mrs. Doubtfire was Robin Williams, from which Jack Lemmon and Tony Curtis dressed up as women was the fabulous Some Like It Hot. Paul O'Grady's one-time alter ego drag queen was Lily Savage. The Irish Secret Society, whose members disguised themselves in women's clothing, was the Molly Maguires. And the UK comedian ran all those marathons and is famous for wearing women's clothes and makeup, Eddie Izzard. When you've got your final scores, send them through. Dawn 10. Great last rounds. 42 to beat. Stephen 9, total 40. Stacey 8, total 40. And June 8, total 44. So June are your winners tonight, June and Mick. Well done. A cracking score. All cracking scores tonight, mate. All on 40s. 40 for Stephen and Jeanette, 40 for Stacey, 42 for Dawn and Bobby in the second place there. But yeah, undoubted winners tonight on 44 points. It's Debenham there. June, well played, June. Cracking stuff. Enjoy that. We'll see you all next week. We'll have another Tuesday night quiz. Thank you all very much. And hopefully we'll see you all next week. Okay, see you all next week. Good night now.